Thank you. Okay, well, we'll get started because I don't know if many more people are going to be coming. We are recording this, so please keep your answers without the swearing in them. And that'll be awesome. My name's Damien. I'm competitions quarter for Hockey Victoria, for those who don't know me. Who here is a club coordinator, officiating coordinator? Fantastic. Welcome. Thank you for coming down. For those I know pretty much everybody, I think. I don't know which is the back. Where are you from?
KDH.
KDH? Both KDH. Fantastic. Thank you for that. Yeah, awesome. All right, I've got a whiteboard. We're going old school. I could work the TV, but it's not actually a touch screen on, so that's not as much fun. Okay. So let's talk about our agenda today. We're going to talk about our aim, okay, what we aim to get out of this season as Hockey Victoria and as umpires. Oh, hey. The head of competition message, he just left, but he did leave me with a message. We're going to talk about administration tasks. So we've got some added administration tasks for those who are umpiring Vic League and Shield A this year. So but we'll get into that. We'll talk about FIH rule changes. We'll talk about overhead interpretation updates. So last year we had overheads where we were allowing a lot more play and a flow, and now FIH have come out with a bit of guidance on how that's working. So we're going to explain that so you guys can then officiate it more closely to what they're doing so that we can keep the same sort of, going to get the right word here, the same feel across the whole competition. The feel, yeah? I'll call it the feel for now. Going to talk about achieving balance and flow. Now this one seems a little bit weird, but it's a lot of fun. All right. We're going to have rules knowledge. Everyone's right now going, oh, geez, really? I didn't know there was a test involved. Okay, it's not hard. Okay. And then we're going to talk about some uniform updates. All right, so we've got some exciting news about uniform, and we're going to talk about that as well. And then at the end, if we got time, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a lot of time. We can have some open discussion about some things, and then we can go from there. If everyone's happy, we can leave early. Okay, we'll see how we go. Did you have something, Steve? I saw you hand it up. No? Lucky it wasn't an auction. All right, so our umpiring goals here are really about increasing the appeal of hockey. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but we are in a crisis time as far as sport in Victoria and the rest of Australia, really. And hockey is no exception to that rule. We have less people wanting to play sport, less people want to play hockey. We want to increase the appeal of people playing hockey. We want them to enjoy themselves, and we want them to then tell their friends so that we can get more people. Okay, back in the 60s, 50s, 60s, we didn't have the internet. We couldn't show fantastic videos. It was all by word of mouth. All right, and the one thing about word of mouth is negative press travels 10 times faster than positive press. So let's remember that when we're out there umpiring. We're going to do that by protecting the skill. There are players out there with some incredible skill. All right, and they're probably going to be playing in the metro grade. They're going to come across people without skill. When those people meet, it doesn't always end up well for the person with skill. So let's protect that person. Let them showcase their skills so they can progress to new levels. All right. We want to improve the game. So the game itself, it's a beautiful game. Who here doesn't agree with me? Okay, it's a beautiful game. It's a great game to watch. It's a great game to get involved in. So by improving the game, we'll increase everybody's appeal. So raising our own standards. Eliminate the dangerous play, and that's what I was talking about, protecting the skill. It's handy that they're at the opposite ends, okay, because mostly the dangerous play comes against skillful players to stop them. All right, so we want to eliminate that dangerous play, let people develop their skill as well, and increase the flow. Now, that's the flow of hockey, that's the flow of the game. More importantly, and we'll discuss it in a minute, the flow of you guys. Okay. So we'll go through the hard stuff first because we'll get to the fun stuff at the end. Don't go with the fun stuff at the start and then the hard stuff at the end because everyone goes, oh, I didn't work. Availability. Make sure you get your availabilities in. All right. If you do not get your availability in, I assume you don't want to umpire or officiate or technical officiate. All right. That also works for your favor because you don't have to put one in if you don't want to umpire or technical officiate. You don't have to do anything. Yes, Peter.
Yeah, so that we can know when we're playing and not
It's a
playing.
really good question, Peter. We just had the draft go out today for the Pennant and Metro grades, and we're expecting the final to be on Thursday, Friday this week. So we are still waiting for that to come out so we can then present it to you guys. Once that's out,
The draft's gone out today.
something went out today.
The clubs have sent they'll have the fixtures today.
Yeah.
The clubs are commenting back.
That's what I was told, probably about 11 o'clock this morning. So what do you need to do as part of administrational tasks? There's the availability. Make sure you do your availability. Make sure you check your roster. All right. I'm not going to follow up if you're not on the roster. That's your job. It'll be there about a week, 2 weeks beforehand for the first round. After that, every 2 weeks, it'll be there on the Tuesday before, 2 week before. Does everyone understand what I mean by that, or do I need to clarify? So it's like, this is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's say our competition is here. The draft roster will be out here. The final roster, so when I consider it final, no more changes, is here. And that's at 5 p.m. So all you club coordinators can check that roster 5 p.m. on the Thursday and can see what you need umpires for. Some people who have done this in the past have looked from here and checked every few days just to see if anything changes for them. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes they go here and I've got umpires on my game. It gets to Thursday. I don't have umpires for my game. All right. For those who are also club coordinators, you can let me know if you want to put people on games. You've got people in development. You've got people from Clubland who want games. You know, for whatever reason, they might be getting money for doing it. They might just love doing it. Tell me, I'll put them on the roster. Okay? They don't even have to do your games. They can do someone else's where they're close to. Just let me know. I'll put them on the roster. Okay? Does everyone understand that process there? Once it becomes final, any game that's under Premier League and Big League 1, and an umpire pulls out in between this time and this time, they will call the clubs.
They will call or you will call?
Well, this is what generally happens. They ring me and then I have to do the chasing. This is what happens. But they should be calling the clubs. After Friday, I don't want a phone call. You call the club, just say, I can't make it. All right. If you've got COVID, if you're sick, just don't go. All right. But tell somebody. Do not spread sickness and disease. We don't want that. All right. If it's Premier League and Big League 1, they'll call me or they'll call another member of our high performance team and they'll let them know. and then we'll advise them what we're going to do. If we have to call the clubs, that's when we call the clubs as well. All right, does everyone understand that? Any questions?
When you call the club, who do you call?
I call the secretary. I don't faff about trying to find this person, this coordinator, that coordinator. I just call the secretary because they're the best person to call. Okay, please inform your secretaries. It's not malicious when I'm calling them at 7 o'clock at night, but please answer the phone because there's some important information coming. I have had secretaries where I bring them up and I said, hey, I found an umpire for you. Could be good news. All right, so it's not always bad. The next thing is that this year for all grades, so Premier League, Vic League 1, Vic League 2, and Vic League 3, and under 16 Shield A, there will be a match report that an umpire must fill in after the game. All right, you've got until 11 o'clock Monday or the business day after that competition to fill it in. All right. If you are umpiring any other grade outside of that, you may fill in a match report, but it's not required. The match report is going to cover votes for those grades that I just mentioned. If you issued yellow cards, red cards, if there was behavior at the field that you were not too keen on, all right, and whether there's anything else that we need to look at. All right, so you've got these things that you can then tell us. We don't want to hear about it 6 weeks later down at the pub that something happened and we go, we didn't know. We want to know straight away. All right, because we can get on top of it. Does everyone understand that? You'll see the match reports as we get closer to the season. I'm about 75% of the way through coding it. Yes.
Is it just for on-field umpires or about TOs, don't it?
TOs can do it too, yeah. But the TOs don't generally issue cards or do votes, but the TOs, you may be able to submit one as well. Okay, that's fine. If you submit one and say, hey, I saw this, I saw that, just put it in. And then we'll determine it from there.
So is it like if they're not umpires, but like both of us doing a match report? Or
Yep.
just one of us?
Both of you will do the match report. Make sure that your votes match. Otherwise, it's generally the first person who gets it in, that's the votes. All right, I'm not double checking. So that's where it goes. Is there any more questions on the match report and that sort of process? Okay.
So is there a format that be available?
Yes, it's going to be online on a jot form. So currently it sits at about 600 little squares. If you looked at it now, you would freak out and go, I am not filling that in. The way I'm coding it, so you just go through it and you say, yes, another one will pop up. Okay. You'll only have to do maybe 10 at the most. So it's going to be easy. Yes.
When you said Shield A, you talking
Under 16 Shield A, yes. Okay, that's the only grade that we do votes, and that's where the votes will come into it.
Put reports on it. I'm going to report someone who put it on the match report.
Yeah, you put it on the match report. So not for disciplinary matters, you can go straight to the discipline forms and submit that by 2 days after the competition. If you put it on the match report, we'll contact you and it'll also come up on the sheet. This may be a disciplinary matter and guide you to that sheet to put it in.
Okay, did you say reserved or just first?
Just the first. So where will you find that? It'll be on the roster page. Okay, before you get to your weekly rosters, it'll be sitting right there. It'll also be in the discipline folder. If you guys have looked at our HV officials webpage, there's a disciplinary folder. It'll be there as well. Okay, I'm going to put it in 2 spots. If you've got any questions on where to find it, yeah, just email me. While I'm on that, I'm on holiday after this for 5 weeks. So email me. My email will then link to whoever's you're meant to contact. It'll be Josh May. He's newly joined our team, so he'll help you guys out. He knows what's going on. He knows what to do. And we're going to go from there. So here's why I'm telling you all these things, and the availability is probably the biggest thing. So he knows what's happening. He's going to make sure you all get games. All right, including you, Sue.
Are those reports, open to public viewing?
No. So the match reports are not open to public viewing. They're just for HV. And then we can sit there and go, okay, so Club X is doing this. Okay, and they've done it again this week, and there's a pattern. We can say, hey guys, let's have a look at this. So last year there was clubs that were let's say using players outside their regular 16. So this is something you put on the match report. I noticed this. So we can jump on it really quickly. If somebody didn't tell us in the second week, we wouldn't have known. So that's something that we need to try and get on top of. Okay. So why do you have to do it? Can anyone figure out why we have to do this? Yes.
Did you want to micromanage it? I know. I believe Damo so that everyone's on the same page. Because a lot of the time last year at high level games, there was just too many wishy-washy, smoky clouds and mirrors. Weren't on the same page.
It's just to get everybody so we see what's happening in hockey. All right, we've got to see why people are not wanting to play our game. Remember when we went back to that we want to improve the game? All right, these things make people go away from the game. They don't like this, so we want to keep them. All right, if we see it happening, we just want to make sure that everyone's feeling fair, and fair and just. So when do you need to complete it by? Match report, 11 a.m. first business day after the competition. All right. Disciplinary reports. If you want to put in a disciplinary report that may require a tribunal, may require you to be talked to by a disciplinary person, not like because you're bad, but because Sue McMillan does it, she'll ring up and say, hey, what happened in the game? And she'll ask you a bunch of questions. Okay. On those disciplinary reports, please make sure you are absolutely clear on what was said, and if it were used expletives, put the expletives in. You're not going to shock Sue. She's heard it all.
I heard it all yesterday.
Okay. If they say something that would be considered scary and horrible, don't say it was scary and horrible. Exactly what did they say? I'm going to knock your head off. That's what he said. Okay, I can't be more than that. While I've got that too, so the disciplinary report, we also have a umpire's guide coming out to the website, so look to that. It'll be inside the briefings. It'll be a guide on umpiring, officiating, technical officiating. You might find something good in there, you might not. Have a look through it. It tells you all of these little processes as well.
Can players put in a disciplinary request?
They will put in their own disciplinary request through their clubs. Now, the code normally comes through the club presidents, so whichever way they go.
I had an incident years ago where there was verbal harassment of a player.
Yep.
But because it was the other side of the pitch, I didn't hear it, so I couldn't take action.
You can't do it.
But I told them to put in a report themselves.
Yeah, no, perfect. That's exactly what we want. Why do we have to do it each week? Does anyone know why we would have to do it each week? Don't want to hear from you, Ben, because you talk too much.
Have it, and you get into the practice of it.
Excellent. What's that? Yep, exactly. And we can get to stuff quicker. All right. Let's talk about our 5 rule changes. There are no rule changes in 2023. There's an update to the guidance. Okay. and the wording has changed slightly, but it's not a total rule change. It's just an update to the guidance. We'll go through that now. So the receiving of aerial balls has been clarified by the FAH. Hockey Victoria will use this clarification in all our competitions. There won't be any changes across the grades. So early judgment regarding danger over the last 20 meters of the ball flight is crucial. So what we're talking about is this player here. They launch the ball up. What we're looking at is the last 20 meters to the person who's receiving the ball. That's what we're worried about. We're not worried about this stuff unless it's 5 meters, because that person can't flick it in somebody 5 meters. But after that, it's the 20 meters. All right. We have to be prepared to look inside that 20 meters. So a lot of times with umpires, you'll talk in a pre-match briefing and you'll say, the ball comes up in my half, I'll take the up. You take the down. So that umpire goes, oh, ball's coming up. Where's it going? Where am I looking? Okay. Look, see what's going on. Then you can judge who's there, who's not. All right. We want to see if there's a contest, and if yes, who will clearly get to the ball first. So if there's a contest, who would get to the ball first? Red. Okay, easy peasy. If I change it around and I have the ball is coming into here, who would get there first?
Blue.
Blue. All right, you want to see who's going to get there first? If both players will get there at the same time, what are you going to call?
Against the razor.
Free hit? Who's giving anything else? Good. Hey?
Who's the defending thing?
Depends on who makes it dangerous.
So who flicked it up?
Red.
The red team.
Okay.
So it'll go to the opposite team. All right. Still they're the attacking team, even though they've got the ball. They may be defending at the time inside the 25, but they're still the attacking team because they've got the ball. There is a difference between a ball that is landing amongst players and a ball that is intercepted in the air. And this changes the wording of this is the wording change of that rule. Okay. So a landing ball, you want to decide it clearly who has 5 meters of space. If there's 5 meters of space, all good. If they're here, and this is 4 meters of space, but nobody's moving, do you see what happens? Yeah, see what happens. All right. But we can clearly see that blue has that ball. An intercepted ball, if a ball is intercepted, now when they're talking about intercepted, so what was happening, and I'm going to do an aerial top-down view. So this person here, and there's a blue player here. The ball is coming in to the red player, and the blue player runs across the line and takes the ball away from this person. That's what they're considering an intercepted ball. It's intercepted. It may happen within 5 meters, but it can't happen within playing distance. Whatever playing distance is and what you feel comfortable with, that's what you call. Okay, the same for the whole game. If the ball is here and somebody's taken a stick, no. If it's there, which is 4 meters, even here, could be that they grab it. Okay, but you judge it based on your sense of danger. If you think it's dangerous, call it. All right, I'm not going to get mad at you. You called it dangerous. All right.
I mean, you said that the interceptor actually takes the ball away. What if you just best thing to do is deflect it downwards?
Right.
And actually controlling it.
So this comes to the next point, which is really good. Really good. Oops. I'll get to that. All right, so it doesn't get to the next point. So if they come in and they play the ball directly down to their feet, that is not on. Okay, that is going to be considered dangerous. And you'll call it because they played it down to their feet. They can't play it in the same area. They've got to move it somewhere else, away from this player. Does everyone understand that? Do I explain that? Is there any questions?
Oh, yeah,
What happens to the swing?
because, I mean, depending on the skill level of the players, a lot of players may be capable of getting the ball, not actually completely controlling it. But dropping it at their feet normally, I would regard the player because it's not too close, it's still safe and not dangerous.
Mm.
So
That might be.
change.
The FIH changed it. Play it down to the ground, inside the playing area. That's now considered no.
Is there something in the international games that triggers that off?
Yes. No. But there was. FIH don't change anything unless it happens in the international game. So I don't know what it was. So there was, if you play it down to the ground, this person just swing through and take it out.
Yeah.
So if you play it away, it's harder to get that same danger.
We're gonna have to make sure we've done a lot of control.
Absolutely.
The doctors for that, people just call it dangerous straight away.
Yeah. Because landing ball decided to clear you has 5 meters of space. That's a landed ball, right?
And ultimately, they don't still point up the intercept, they shouldn't be intercepted.
Yeah.
They should have dropped it. They can't do it.
So the idea is
Yeah, I agree with you.
that you can go crossways. Okay, but you can't go into them. That's the idea.
If you can cap it in front of them, further away in front.
That's going away.
Yes, as long as you came from
That's right.
the side, not from the front. All right. Now these, if they are coming in and they do this, they are considering them as an intentional breach. Does everyone know the intentional breach rules for what happens in various parts of the field? Does anyone not know? Okay, I'll go through them. But I think there's someone shy that's not going to admit it. If there's an intentional breach inside the field, and it is inside the 223 meter marks in the middle of the field, an intentional breach, what can you give?
Card.
Give a card and
A free hit.
a free hit.
Yeah.
Perfect. If it happens inside the 23 and it's an intentional offence by the team, I'm trying to get this right.
Make it easier.
The defending team.
All right, I'm going to say the attacking 23. It's an intentional offence against the attacking team. So the defending team has caused the intentional offence. Inside the 23, outside the circle, what could you give? Penalty corner. And a card?
Yeah,
Oh, you don't always have to give a card, but if you deem it intentional enough, give a card. Okay? What happens if it's inside the circle?
Right.
Penalty straight. Okay, perfect. So those are the things this year. Don't look for these things to give cards. Be absolute that they were a card. Don't look and go, oh, there's going to be a card, it's going to be a card, and already whip out your card before you're ready to go. Right?
And saying intercepted, actually.
Not any interception. Only the intercepted balls that are not safely completed. Okay, if it's safely completed, it's play on. But if it's not safely completed, or it comes into a landed ball within the 5 meters of space deliberately, that's an intention. Yeah. Those who don't know me, interestingly enough, that's going to be boring, but this summer I started baseball umpiring. And the first thing they said, don't have your fist ready to give it out before they've reached the base. Okay? And I'll tell you that for the cards. Don't think it's going to be a card, it's going to be a card before there's an actual card. Okay? Make sure the event occurs, take it a second, pause, and go, yeah, that was. It looks better, feels better, everybody's good, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Maybe confer with your co-umpire.
You can do that, yeah. And it's better too, because then everyone goes, oh yeah, they're talking. So here's what the clarification is. So players who attempt to intercept the ball coming in from behind or in front of the intended receiver are more likely to cause danger. So whereas players coming in from the side are less likely to cause danger. That is why they've changed the ruling. Does that help you with that, John? Fantastic. The interception should be the act of playing the ball away from the initial receiver and not by stepping in front of the initial receiver and trying to control the ball in close proximity. So basically it's moving the ball and everything's still in movement. If you think it's dangerous, call it. I'm not going to say not to, okay? All right. Players are reminded that they must not attempt to intercept the ball within playing distance of the receiving player, but can still be within 5 meters, and that's what I talked about, the 5 meters. They could intercept it there, they're within 5 meters. All right, but they can't intercept. Balance and flow. Here you go. This is the fun part. What do I mean by balance and flow? What could I mean? Okay, that's a good one. Sit up, Ben. Okay, balance and flow. Sit up.
Why?
Because I said to.
Sorry, Simon says.
All right. Now, what did I just do?
You always will.
Picked on a player.
I picked on a player. I just disturbed the balance of the entire room. Okay? I'm not going to lie. I probably felt everybody just go, something bad's going to happen. Did everyone else feel that? Okay? But Ben didn't do anything wrong. I disturbed the balance and the flow of this room. You as umpires can disturb the balance and flow of a game by exactly the same things. It's not how you do it. Well, it is how you do it. Okay? It's not necessarily what you do. If you go to a game thinking, I am going to give out 14 yellow cards and 6 reds because they deserve it, they were mean to me last week. How do you think you're going to umpire that game?
Really well.
Okay? It's not going to go well for you. It's not going to go well for them. And what have you just done? You made them have a really terrible game. Okay? And guess what's going to happen? They're going to tell 10 mates. And then you're going to be the grumpy person that umpired them last week. Okay? That doesn't mean that you don't give cards, but give them if they are truly earned. Don't look for things. Okay? What can disturb your balance or flow while you're out there umpiring? Players back chatting, that's a perfect one. Why does back chatting annoy us so much?
Attention away from the game.
Yeah.
They take the attention away, your attention from the game, yeah?
Challenges your authority.
Challenges the authority.
You start picking with them.
Okay. There's some really good reasons of why back chatting would take away from the game. Do you think that it should affect your flow in the game? Hands up if you think it should affect your flow.
I don't think it should affect your flow, but I'm afraid it sometimes does.
Exactly. So as umpires, I'm not going to lie, we wish the players were perfect. Sometimes they're having a bad day too. Okay? And we as umpires need to accept that. but not accept their behaviour.
Either.
Pardon?
Players need to accept that we're not perfect either.
Exactly, okay? We don't have to, we can accept their behaviour, or we can accept that it happens. We don't accept the behaviour. And we don't rise to that tension. Because if you go out there and just whip out that card, just go, yeah! And then for 10 minutes, you're stalking around the field like you're angry and pissed off at the world. How's the rest of the team going to feel? They're going to sit there and go, I'm not going near that ball. Okay? So once you're given the card and you've given it calmly, or you've given the penalty and you've given it calmly, back off. Let them do their thing. All right? I know that it's a hard thing too sometimes, like something's happened. And somebody once told me that, just showing people that you are still on their side. You still care. Okay? Look like you're enjoying yourself. Right? Not too much, but enjoy. All right? Robin, you've umpired so many games. Tell me about the game that you had the best balance and flow, and what happened to help that work?
Probably ideally the players wanted to play advantage as much as I did.
Yeah. So they got with you and with what your game plan. And this comes to the next point. Your game plan may not match their game plan. But how do you get them and you to the same game plan? Who changes?
Your game, there.
It is their game. But if they want to go into roughhouses, that's still not on, right?
That's managing.
Yes. You can both guide towards a common goal of where you want to go, but you can do it as people. And this is how you said, Peter, that they understand that we make mistakes too. We're human. We can show the human side of us. Okay? So this is balance and flow. Think about it for this year. I'm not going to give too much more on the balance and flow, because I'll go on for hours. Okay? This will go into life. This will go into anything. How do you get yourself to where you want to go? All right? There's so many things to stop you. You just got to get into the flow of it. Is there any more questions on that? Cool. Because I didn't have anything on the rules knowledge. I'm going to ask everyone a question. All right. Has everyone here played Monopoly? Hands up if you've played Monopoly. Okay. When can you start buying houses in Monopoly?
After you've done one lap at the board.
Okay.
You've got all three, or two or three.
Sorry. When can you start buying properties? Very good, Kyle, you got one thing. When can you start buying properties? Ben said, when you've done a lap of the board. Who agrees?
Straight away.
You think straight away?
That's money you got.
Okay, all right, I'll ask you another question. Who used to play Uno? Can you finish on a draw 4?
No.
No?
Make your own rules.
You can make up your own rules. Who thinks you can end on a draw 4? Hands up. There's no wrong answer. I'm just saying. Okay. What we're talking about here is, I'm going to say, wives' tales rules. Okay, some people said it was local rules. When we do hockey, we do not do wives' tales rules. Who here has read the rule book? Who here umpires according to what they've been umpired in the past? Who here has read the rule book 5 times? Who here has read it 10 times?
You mean over the years?
Over the years.
Oh, my God. Let's stop at 10.
Okay. Who here only reads the rules when something comes up in a game and you just want to see, oh, did I put that in?
aim is at night.
Okay. So this is where rules knowledge becomes important. Okay. Again, coming back to my summer baseball, it's my second year of baseball and I was doing umpiring. So what I got told, and it was wrong. And I thought about this and I thought, oh, maybe I should really read the book. I'm out here making sure that these guys are having the best game of their life. Why do I think that I don't need to know the rules? Okay, you don't have to be a nerd to know the rule word for word. Okay, you don't have to. You need to know what the spirit of the rule is. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Rules knowledge. Get the rules. Look through them. Who knows where you find the rules that we will umpire maybe 90% of the time in a game? Where do you find them in the rule book?
In the middle.
In the middle?
Just find them on your own.
The nines?
During the game.
Anyone got anything else? Rodney is correct. It's the nines rule. The nines are the reason why we blow the whistle. The 10s are the penalties. The 11s are how to take the penalties. Okay. There is also a section on the umpires rules. Rules for umpires. Who's read that one? Okay, there's ways in how we behave, how we act, how we do things on the field. Have a look at that. Have a look. For you club coordinators, you're going to get young umpires coming through the system. Tell them these things. All right, you don't have to make it a big thing. Just tell them, look through it. Quiz them on a rule. Hey, what's this rule mean? What do you think it means? Ask them. Get them thinking. Hey, get the young umpires thinking about it. Because at the end of the day, if they're not thinking about it, they're not going to care. Right? I'm afraid to say that I've had umpires at the top level saying to me, I've never read the rule. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, come on. This is a game. You're getting money for this. Should we not do that a little bit? Make their life better? Okay. That's enough. Enough preaching for me. So, this rule is still in effect. Okay.
With other sports.
Yep.
And you tell them that this is current in hockey, they are totally impressed. They wish other sports did this as well.
We aim to impress you at hockey. Look, it's something that it was brought about by COVID, but it's a long time in coming. There are many, many communicable diseases out there that are transferred by saliva, and anything can happen. People are sliding on the field, it gets in their cut, now suddenly they've got whatever that you've got. And it's not fair. All right, not fair to pass that on to anybody else. So the spitting, the bushman's nose, that includes putting water in your mouth and spitting it on the field. Okay, either drink it or go to the field and spit it outside the field, not inside the field. If they spit it outside the field, don't do anything. They spit it outside the field. If they spit it in the dugout, just tell somebody, hey, can you just make sure that that's somewhere else? Okay, but don't do anything else about that one. Yes.
Now, can I ask a really obvious question? Does HB want us to police that? Because
Yes.
in the PL briefing, you said, don't card.
No.
10-minute yellow. No, I'm paraphrasing. Don't card, but it's 10-minute yellow. Manage it, but it's 10-minute yellow.
Okay.
Because, for example, at PL yesterday at Greensborough,
Yep.
you can ask Sue Mack, nearly the entire Geelong team did it on the pitch after they had drinks at a quarter time because they were in the shade.
Yep.
And I walked over and the whole pitch was wet.
Yes.
And I'm like, is it spitting? Yeah, exactly. So am I supposed to be like, well, hang on, you've all done it. Can't.
So this is,
Can I jump in on?
yes.
I think how you manage it with your clubs.
Yeah.
Being a good communicator to the players, that goes a long way.
Yeah. Good.
Everyone knows. What we got.
No, they don't. They That's not really. Do, yeah. So, please, we've only just brought it in, and as Sue alluded to, it's not in most other sports. You can turn the TV on Sunday, and you can see an AFL player squirt. Everyone thinks, oh, it's normal. Pardon?
And NIL.
Exactly. But at hockey, we're a little bit more proactive on this. We just don't want people to get sick. We don't want them to get sick unnecessarily. All right, there's enough bad bugs and germs in the world. Let's not try and contribute to it. So, I think Benny was talking to be proactive in the first week or two. Take time to talk to the captains or the team managers. Say, hey, I noticed this player just did this. I had a game, first game last year, and it's it's a notorious fellow who sometimes gets cards frequently, and he spit on the ground. And I sort of said to the manager, hey, can you make sure he doesn't do that, because that will be a really silly way to get a card. Imagine getting a card for that and now you're out. Okay. You don't want that to, I spat on the ground, so now I'm out for 2 weeks because I've had too many yellow cards. Let's just manage it. Let's talk to them. Point them in the direction. Hey, we just don't want to do that silly cards like that, but we have to. You can blame HV. We don't care. It's our fault. We told you to. Okay, if they got a problem, they can contact us. You're just doing what we've asked you. Okay, you can go, just got to do what I'm told, otherwise I don't get to umpire anymore. Okay, but just be aware of it. It's up to you to police it. We can't police it. There's not enough of us in the office to go out to every ground. All right, so just get onto that early. Manage it. Talk to them. All right. The offenders are to be shown a yellow card. If it's persistent, a yellow card straight away, 10 minutes. That'll soon stop them. Okay. If they don't learn from that one, it's a red card. Imagine going to Premier League, you spat on the ground twice and now you're out for a week. You didn't even do anything to anybody. I mean, people get it. We just have to get it into what we call culture. And this is where our match reports come out. We want to get the culture of the bad things out and the culture of the good things in. I think you dropped something. Consistent repeat offenders will be subject to a HV disciplinary process. So if you've given cards this person 5 weeks in a row for spitting on the ground, HV are going to want to know why. Why are you still spitting on the ground? Okay, and we'll deal with it then. That's why the match reports are important. Does everyone understand this so far? Is there any questions? We're not being too preachy. Awesome. Let's talk about our uniform. Got to hide this bit. Don't look. Okay. So the HV uniform, we currently have a blue, we have an aggressive salmon, we have an angry frog. Okay, 3 colours. It's up to you if you get all 3. Our primary colour is aggressive salmon. Our secondary colour, and especially for TOs, is the blue. We also have the angry frog colour, which is a green colour, for those times where we've got a blue team and a reddish, orangey team, and they think that the pink clashes. So then we've got a spare. They're only about $42, I think, from Just Hockey. If I take into account how much everyone earns for a season, the average umpire earns about $1,500 in a season, average. There are people who earn way more.
I'm going to look a lot now.
Yeah. That will be, it's a small amount to pay just to make sure that everybody looks the same, everyone's cool. All right, we moved away from the stripes so that we become one team. Yeah. So if one team's deciding to have green, the other team's not, we're not helping them. We're not supporting. Talking about the pay and the work less, we are discussing it and talking about what we should do about the umpires' pay for next year, especially at the lower grades. All right, you guys work really hard. I'm not going to lie, you guys work phenomenally hard. Considering the grade you've got, the level of skill of the umpire, and while the game may not be as fast as what Premier League is, those people do not have any chill during the game at all. Okay, you are managing far more than what a probably regular Premier League umpire would do. So I think it's only fair that we can sort of explore some of those options for the future. So that's just something to be aware of. I didn't tell you in this briefing, those going to film. Okay. So our HV uniform is our brand. It's who we are. Once we put on that shirt, we're a HV umpire. All right. This is why we have similar styles. Pink, the green, the blue, same style. The grey on the side is exactly the same. The cut's the same. Logo's the same. They're all in the same spots. We don't have different uniform. All right. This bottom one, we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. It also represents our professionalism. Now, I was here when we had those other shirts. It was the lovely green sack.
Or purple,
Pardon?
purple.
I wasn't here for the purple. But it was a green sack. It was all one cut. It hung off you. If you washed it too many times, it went one of two ways. It went really big or shrunk to really small. Okay. I thought I was gaining weight wearing one of those shirts, and then I realized, oh, the shirt's just shrinking. Actually, I was gaining weight. My fault. But it's professional. It looks professional. It feels professional. I'm not going to lie. I love the shirt. Okay. I wouldn't wear any other shirt. Now, anybody else who has worn another shirt, okay, you probably know what I'm talking about. So it's a professional thing. You look really good wearing it, especially both of you. It is our identity. So when they're on the field, they're looking for who's the person who's making the signal, who just blew that whistle, who just deafened me with that whistle. Okay, they're looking for a specific thing, and that is the color of the shirt, what it looks like, who's wearing it. You stand out from the people behind you. Yeah. It is also our unity, and I spoke to it earlier. We are a team. All of us, from our Premier League panel right down to our Metro League. The umpires coming from Clubland who are umpiring a game because they might get a free canteen on Friday night. Okay. You're all part of the umpire fraternity. Talk to each other.
Sounds
Find that boring? Yeah, let's just wait till he comes back and everyone just stare at him. So it's our unity. It's who we are. So how do we increase more umpires into the sport if we're not willing to talk to each other and embrace each other? And I don't mean that physically. Right? We still got COVID around, please don't embrace me. But if a Premier League umpire talks to the person from Clubland, says, "Hey, you're doing really well. I like how you did that. You know, I'd like to see you on more games." Imagine that person and how they feel. Yeah. Even if it's not a kid from Clubland, imagine a kid from Metro or Pentagrade who's just jumped in. Okay. Kyle does a great job, but he doesn't get told very much because he's hidden away all the way in Mornington. But if the Premier League umpire tells him, "Hey, you're doing a great job," how are you going to feel, Kyle? Pretty good. There you go. All right. So don't forget to just G each other up, pump each other's tires up. Yeah. TOs. Mate, you guys work really hard on the sidelines during Vic League 1 and Premier League games, and I'm not going to lie about it. because you guys worked so hard. How many umpires recognise how hard the TO works on the sideline? Yeah, some do. Okay. You can tell when a TO is not working hard. We've got agreements in that. Yeah, because things don't go quite right from the bench. Now, they may not be running as much as you. They're managing a lot. And for that, we should embrace them too. They're a part of us. They're officials. They just wear the blue shirt, which is the same shirt you can wear. So let's get together. Let's get together this year as a group. Unity. Yeah? Okay. Sorry, a bit preachy.
On that, for the club games, my own club games, because we've only got one team, so we often have people umpiring. I take a couple of work safety vests, so they both look the same.
That works. So
And get them back up to the game.
yeah, no, exactly. So that works. Some people use pennies. They buy a set of pennies. Some clubs have bought shirts that they have in the clubhouse for people to wear. All right. Now I'm going to go back to my umpiring this year. I was part of what they considered a green shirt program. So everyone else wears blue shirts. I got to wear a green shirt. I felt stupid. But what that did was it actually helped people recognize that I was new and I was training. And that we then can, and I had other umpires come up and talk to me to help me out. Right? We can do this in clubland. So you've got the shirt, they've got the jackets on, get a sign made up on the side. Hey, these umpires are new, they're training, they're learning. Okay. So people know, people can understand, people can say, hey, these guys are training umpires. I go back to their club. Hey, are you training umpires? No, we're not. Why not? They are. Yeah. And at the end of the day, all we want is more umpires because you guys in clubland go, holy smokes, I've got 20 games to fill. I've only got 2 umpires. How am I going to do this? Would it be easier if you had 40 umpires? 40 umpires willing to do it, jumping up and down saying, yeah, I want to do it. Imagine if you had 60. Now, I don't know what your individual clubs for the club coordinates. I don't know what your club's makeup is in terms of teams. What I can say is if you have 3 times as much umpires as you have teams, you're going to have a hard time not filling the spots. If you have that many umpires, do not use them every week. You'll burn them out. Okay? Because this is what's happening in our organisation. Our umpires are getting burnt out. This is why I talk about these things. These are why I talk to you about balance and flow. I don't want you to burn out. Okay? When I say it, I love you guys. You keep me employed. I have fun teaching you. I have fun talking to you in front of this sort of environment. Yeah? And the last thing I ever want to see is somebody give up umpiring. So if you can help me, I'll help you. All right. Is there any questions on any of the uniforms covered so far? Excellent. This year, there's a lot of talk in the community about First Nations or Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and the voice and all of those sort of things. Something that we've been planning at HV started last year for NAIDOC round. We've got special shirts for the umpires for that round. One of the umpires on that game identifies as Aboriginal. I identify as Aboriginal as well. And we are doing something for everybody else who maybe identifies but don't necessarily say it. We're trying to get more people involved. So this year, we're looking into First Nations themed shirt for 2023. It is a special edition and it'll be in limited supply. It'll be done by order from Just Hockey. So you'll be able to order your shirt. They'll be coming in pink and blue. Currently, we're just going through the final processes of the actual design. So we've got the design, we're talking about it, but they're coming. You will be able to use them for JSC. You'll be able to use it for the games around NAIDOC week, which is in July 9th-ish. There's no rounds that week, but it's the week after. And we are discussing whether we can use it for future games or special events. Feel free to participate if you wish. Okay, we're not going to say you have to. Yes.
But how's that gonna go if one umpire has that section and the other one doesn't? Are you happy with that?
I'm totally happy with that. It's just this year only. Maybe next year we'll have it again and then people can then get more and they'll all get involved. Okay, they're looking about the same price point as they are now. So it's one of those things. If you want to support our Indigenous people, sorry, I shouldn't say Indigenous, that's a bad word there. Our First Nations people, then by all means, please wear it. So we can show that we are a supportive culture. We have a supportive culture and we want to get involved. Now we're down to open discussion, which is, that's the end. That's officially the end. Everyone can breathe a sigh of relief. Sue, you're ready to go home. I can see. I'm sorry, I was a little bit boring there for a while, but is there any questions from anybody regarding this year? What expectations do you have from HB? Yeah. Anybody have any questions?
Damo, I know at club level, Regos have been pretty soft.
Yep.
What's the umpiring Regos look like for the umpiring roster?
So currently I have 40 people have put in their availability for the first week. And none of them are Premier League umpires.
Yay!
Okay, Nathan. To tell you the truth, I haven't looked totally at the first week. I've seen there was only 40 people. So let me tell you about that. I'll go back to that because it's an interesting thing. A lot of times I get questions on this and why did I appear on the roster when I told you I was away or I told you I was not in the right spot? So Robert Bannerman's good. She only puts in one. Okay. Christine Henderson, I'm not picking on you, but you do it. You'll put in 2 or 3. Now, Christine has a changing availability from when she puts it in. She might put in something now and 6 weeks down the track, her circumstances change. I'm okay with that. I don't care. Your circumstances change. I'll help you as much as I can. So Christine will put it in. And she'll put in she's available for X and Y. Then her availability changes. And she's now available for B and C. She put in availability again. I know, right? And now she's available for X and B. What I do is I sort this out. That's just dates. Do you need me to write it in black? Will that help?
That was really hard to see, and I'm sure.
Much better.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't consider how bad it looks on the board from that distance, and now that you mention it, it looks terrible.
All those grade 4 little drawings,
Yeah.
you might have to do them. Except we're going first.
We'll go down the field in 6 weeks and we'll just get real players and we'll show you in a game. Okay, so this is what I'll get on the sheet. Now, this is the part that's human. And when I mess up, I'm really sorry. So I sort this by last name. This is Christine's first name. I just didn't put her last name in. But last name, date submitted, and then her first name. I then take out this one and this one. I just delete it. It's gone. I could download it again, but it's gone. And this is what I then do for Christine's roster. If something goes wrong in that, I might pick this one and accidentally delete this one. Because when I'm clicking with my finger's bent because of baseball. Okay, I'll hit the wrong stupid cell. All right, and then Christine ends up going, oh, I can do B and C. I get lucky and I put her on B and she's like, yeah, I'm good. Put her on X. And I tell you, those phone calls at 3 o'clock in the morning are not fun. Okay. So this is what happens. This is the process for you, so you understand from me. Okay. I'm human, I make mistakes too. I don't do it deliberately. All right. Now, this year I've suffered from some health problems, which I haven't been as active or as communicative probably as I should be, or as I have been in the past. But I'm working through that now, and we'll see some improvement for the season. So thank you all for being patient with me. But this is an important one. Okay. Now that I've gone for 5 weeks, Josh May is taken over and he's doing this. So if he does it well, he can take the job. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So please be kind to him and as patient with him as you are with me.
When you prefer us to do a new job form or the changes rather than email you, that's why I do it that way.
No, that's perfect because you've done this. But once I put you on a game, I'm going to put you on the wrong games. Because I've chosen I've clicked the wrong cell.
But yeah, what you're saying, to notify you of changes in advance, use the job form.
Yep.
But once the roster comes out, do we know?
Yes, once the roster comes out, email me. Don't go to the job form because I generally don't look at it again for any new things of people who are on. I just look for people who are not on there to put on.
I mean, is that reciprocal? That won't change the roster on us, you email us. Rather than us having to search for it, or I've been caught out in the past, make changes.
So changes won't change after Thursday 5 p.m. on the Thursday prior to the rounds of that round. It won't change. If it changes, I call. Have I done that for everybody here so far, except for you, John, then? Yeah?
Probably just the ones that happened on
Probably.
the early roster. I
Yeah.
looked at it on Tuesday, I'll take you with that.
Yep.
You know, that it changed in between. I'm curious if when any time we make a change to the roster from the first draft, we get notified. We don't notify what it is, just like a flag.
Yep.
There's a message that I've changed your roster, please check it.
So
That could be 2 minutes.
we're,
To be fair, they don't use, so I'm a big macro person, John. It's in my job, using Excel is my job, right? Not being rude to Damien, but there's no one at HB that could use an Excel spreadsheet to tell every single umpire in Victoria they've been moved. It's just too hard. So, because I'm a coordinator and a Premier League umpire, I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything. I always have to check the roster every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And that's just got me in the habit of checking it Thursday, 5 p.m, bang, that's where I'm umpiring and what games I need to cover for the club.
So I still felt like to ask you.
Yeah, like it definitely is, but
it's fine to ask, and I will
It's a
tell you.
logical way to do
Yeah,
it.
I will tell you. We have looked into it. We've looked into it in various programs. It doesn't exactly do everything that we want it to do. So we'd have to use 3 or 4 different programs, to get what we want to do, and that's not what we want. Okay?
Thursday 5 o'clock. There's the cut-off time. Can it be Wednesday 5 o'clock to Friday night games to give people?
Can't do that. Can't do that.
But
It's-
like, you gotta find somebody at least 24 hours.
I know, it is the most difficult, but I'll tell you something about Friday night games. Very rarely will people get added to a Friday night game after Wednesday anyway. Very rarely do I have anybody saying I'm available on Friday night. So, all I'm saying, just have a look, just to double check. It's better to tell an umpire, hey, look, we've got an umpire, now you're not needed, they're gonna go. No?
If everyone's getting in their availability that 2-3 weeks in advance, not much should be changing.
Yeah.
It should only be those emergency last minute changes no past the day.
The only thing, the only thing
Right,
on that,
that's what happens. But if every umpire is doing that, it should make Damo's job real easy. Nothing should change unless someone gets hit by a bus.
yeah, and that availability. So there are some people who only learn their roster a week ahead. Don't mind. That's them. I'm not upset about that. But like I said, if you can get it in early, get it in early. Because it does help me. All right. I go through and then I check that everybody who put in their availability gets something. I make sure I actually check it off. You can ask me for last year's availability sheets, and I can show you everybody got a game. And maybe one person or two people a week could get a game, but that's only because, as you've seen on the roster last year, we had all the games in the West, then all the games in the East, then all the games in the West. If I've got 20 umpires in the West and all the games are in the East and there's only 5 games in the West, I'm going to have a hard time filling it. It's just the way it is. If you could extend yourself outside of the Camberwell Hawthorn bubble, which seems to be the cutoff for many people, and go to Essendon or go to Footscray, put it on your job, put it in the comment section. Hey, I'll go to Essendon. It's not too far. I know that it's because it's in a different zone that you go, oh, I can't do that. But just put in there, I can go to Essendon or Footscray, but you don't have to tick that you'll go to Essendon, Footscray, Melton, Yarra Valley.
Now, that's a very valid point, because I know sometimes I put not available because you've got a whole heap of clubs.
Yeah.
And I think, well, I could do that one, but I'm
Yeah.
certainly not doing the other two.
Yeah. So the big point there too is I've explored keeping all those as separate selections. But then the whole list became very unwieldy because you go, oh, Jesus, I've got 20 clubs now to go through, and people go, I'm not filling this in.
Yeah, I think, Damien, a couple of people got caught out last year with a time change for some of the junior games between the Tuesday roster and the Thursday roster.
Yep.
If that could be bolded or highlighted.
All right. So what we'll do is the time change will be highlighted in yellow. So there is a change just to highlight that. Does everyone know what the colours mean on the roster? Here's another thing for you guys. No?
Nope.
Yellow means it should, yellow highlight. It's been changed. Somebody's been changed off the game. Okay. If there's a red highlight, then there's a forfeit in that game. You don't have to turn up. If I get it in before Thursday 5 p.m, I won't call you because I've got it in by Thursday 5 p.m. But if it's after that time, I will call you. Or I'll send you a text message. Normally I send text messages because I can send to both umpires at once. All right, that's my usual preferred method of communicating to umpires is a text message. If I find I have trouble with somebody, then I will call them. All right. Green, right? So I highlighted like a neon green, like the sign up there. What does that generally mean? Anyone know? It means you've got 2 games, but they're at different fields. Okay?
2 different venues.
2 different venues.
Mhm.
Now, sometimes I might put in, oh, you're on Hawthorn 1 at 3:30 and then Hawthorn 2 at 5. So I'll put that in green just so you can make sure that it's, you go, oh yeah, okay, I'm on the other field. I know where to go. All right. The ones that are all lined with the blues and the oranges and the greens, and then the junior games, which are highlighted gold, they're the games that we attempt to get all umpires to. So they're the ones that we always put umpires on first. They're our primary focus, and we'll put you there according to your availability. So if a game goes free, it's because there wasn't an umpire available for that game. It's just the way it is. All right, Friday night's tough to get people to umpire. Club coordinators, if you've got an umpiring program, umpire development program, let me know. KVH, perfect, every year. Call me up. Hey, we've got umpires, we want to put them on all at Elgar. I might forget the first few weeks, I don't forget after that. And we just automatically put KVH, umpire development. We just block it off. No one can get in at KVH. Even if they live down the road. Dex Kelly lives next, in the next block. You can't even get there.
I know.
Yeah.
When I actually heard the question down there, I'm sure the question was not about the roster, but how many registrations we've had for umpires.
Oh,
yeah.
so looking at it, I've had probably about 160. Generally, I have about 300.
Yeah.
But that's not saying that they don't start flying in the next 2 weeks. Because we're starting to see an uptick in registration from Victoria as the season started.
Is that typical each year? The like,
Typical each year.
Yep.
Typical each year. The year that we had to have as LAC, we had to have 5 level 1s at a club and 3 level 2s and all of that stuff. I had 500 officials. I still only had 100 that wanted to go on the roster every week. Yeah, it hasn't changed. It just, that's the way it goes. Yeah.
When does the junior start?
Juniors will start about 3-4 weeks after, so they start pretty much when I get back, May 11th-ish, around there. It could be the week before, could be the week after, but it's around there. Okay. Is there any other questions? Yes.
Clarification in relation to carded players.
Yep.
During the indoor competition, carded player was allowed to come onto the field when the ball was injected, after the ball was injected on a corner.
Yep.
Am I to understand that it's only to apply to the indoor, it's not to apply to seniors?
Yes, that's an indoor tournament rule. For seniors, if a carded player is sitting there and their time runs out during the taking of a penalty corner, you hold them there. If another penalty corner is given, doesn't matter if the ball's come out or not, and it's another penalty corner, they may go on for that penalty corner. We're not artificially extending the life of that card because there's a penalty corner still going, which could take another 3 minutes depending.
All right, that's not a replay.
What's that?
There's a replay. Yeah, a replay for a penalty.
Even if it's a re-award, so it doesn't matter, like, they could hit another foot, that person can go on and go.
Right, that person not a substitution?
Pardon?
Is that person not a substitution?
That is not a substitution, that is a reintroduction of a suspended player.
So they can't substitute.
No, if it's a substitute, they may not go on.
Yes, if they're doing what teams will sometimes do,
Yeah.
is that carded player.
Yeah.
And someone else is going on for him, they're being substitute, they can't do that. But that carded player can go back on the position.
But they may go on for penalty stroke, don't forget. Yes, Christine.
My understanding is that, well, at Nationals, I believe that as soon as the ball is rejected.
Yep.
The person in the field can come on, as long as it's them, not a substitution for them.
Yep.
And they don't have to wait until the corner is completed.
Yes, so that's at the national level and the national tournament rules. So we've just got it, because we don't have timeout as well. So at national level, they have the timeout for the corners. If somebody's sitting there and has got a green card, you could then keep getting penalty corners till that person comes back on. It's just the way it is. At national level, they actually spend 2 minutes in play time. So it's different. So we've done. Yeah. Anybody got any other questions? Wow. First time I've left the room speechless.
Actually,
Okay.
I've got one to throw that.
Oh, I've got one.
One of the rules, I've thrown this to a few of you, so don't answer. Can a goalkeeper catch the ball? When I started playing, goalkeeper could catch the ball. Can a goalkeeper catch the ball? Yes or no?
Thank you. Thanks for coming down, guys.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Can a goalkeeper catch the ball?
Is
Yes or
it
no?
to expand it a bit more? Is it in regular play?
Well, first we'll just say, can the goalkeeper catch the ball? Any takers?
Nicola?
Around him. Anyone runs in, expect them to drop it on the ground.
He can, no, that's stopping, but no, actually grab the ball. So instead of having the hard gloves, you've got wicket keeping gloves. that we used to have.
I know what you
Can you
mean.
catch the ball?
No, you can only deflect the ball. You play the ball, or you can deflect the ball, you don't want to
So
grab it.
there is only one time a goalkeeper can catch the ball. When is it?
penalty stroke.
Correct. Goalkeeper can, it is still in the rules. penalty stroke is over, blah, 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 and the goalkeeper catches the ball.
How many goalkeepers are playing in the club?
Yeah, it's a bit hard with their solid bone gloves, but it's still in the rules.
So this goes back to the rules knowledge and it's one of those.
We're about to look.
Under penalty. Oh, it's
Yeah.
Under rule 10, there's no reference to goalkeepers catching the ball
Under the taking of a penalty stroke or the finishing of a penalty stroke?
during the conduct of play, general conduct of play.
No, penalty stroke,
Under penalty stroke.
under penalty stroke.
Okay, so we can take a stand, but in the rest of the rule. Numbers go on general play.
The ball comes to rest inside the circle, lodges in the goalkeeper's equipment, is caught by the goalkeeper, or goes outside the circle. 13A/B.
There you go.
Goalkeeper that keeps the wicket keeper.
So thank you to everybody for coming down. Got finished really quickly. I thought we'd have more people with more questions, but hopefully everybody's got anything. If you send me an email in the next 5 weeks, you'll find out who you need to contact. Hopefully you won't need to contact them that much. It's going to be life as normal. Just, I'm not going to be here, so.
How can it be right? Oh,
Yeah.
I know Nick.
Oh, I can see some.
Yeah.
This is like, you're going to be playing with them, next ball and normal.
Yeah.
I told you.
Legs in
Normal play.
It doesn't say that you like it to. So doing baseball, you know, but it's so, yeah. I would give myself 14, it's coming 15 and then Don't enjoy it.
But the umpire, probably still points.
Yeah, and you've got to get that club you can last year. So I've already pointed near.
So Knox, I think, benefit is really something. So,
Yeah.
enjoy yourself. Don't you guys are ruckus down
I
there?
don't have to be good.
Why isn't that being short?
Because there's more,
Starts later.
yeah, because of the, there's more holidays in the season.
Okay.
You see, like,
You still get all the pictures from us?
yeah,
So when are you gonna have those?
they're already done.
Oh, are they? I thought
They're
you
done,
had-
up online.
Oh, are they?
They're on their sport.
Oh, so
Amen.
what's not up then? Just metros?
There's Metro and Penn
Just metro? Yeah.
and juniors, because they haven't been back.
Yeah, obviously. So, all right, I'll check those out.
Yeah.
But Jeff's already been in contact with you in regards
Yeah.
to picture and then you've already sorted it out.
Yeah, so I've got everybody in as much as I can. We've got Frankston and Danny on now. So Frankston will move from Metro.
Yeah, I noticed that.
See you
Yeah, I
later.
noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that. And Mornington planning he goes down?
No, they're going to Peninsula.
They want to get me over so
Okay.
bad, but have fun to deal with
This
it.
is the blue shirt.
Yeah, no, well, it's
No,
close
this
enough
is
to it.
not the blue shirt. The blue shirt is, well, it's this colour, the grey.
What area?
So it's the TA shirt.
Oh,
Yes,
so-
well, it's the same shirt. We use it for TAs and the walkout shirt runs.
I don't know. I don't know.
I still can't.
I was like, I'll just chill in Big League One and wait for all the umpires to come down.
Because I can get to around.
Well,
Yeah, because that's, yeah, they're still floating around. They're useful. Yeah, we use them to play hockey with umpires.
Got the question of green one? Yeah. Just before